Say something so I can hear you. Everything is good?
Hi.
Sweet.
Hi. Excellent.
Right, let's get started. Kirron, be quiet, man, please. Sorry.
What about me would make you think that I care about your opinion of me? Your opinion of me is not the opinion that I have of myself. You ain't make me, so you can't break me. You didn't build me, so you can't kill me. You know what? God established me, so you ain't nothing you can do to me. I've been him. I've been a difference maker, a game changer. I've been that guy. So what would change? Not a darn thing. I'm not even playing the game, and you got an opinion of me. I love it, but I don't care. And I wish the world thought like that. Youngsters, if you're out there right now, do not give a darn what opinions people have of you, long as that opinion is not consistent of that of yourself. You be you. I'm not playing to make...
Hello. You guys all right?
Yeah. Listen.
Right. I feel like you need some music. I feel like you guys need some
We're good
music.
to go.
Oh, I was just listening to
I
this.
was listening to that.
Yeah.
I thought that was your intro.
No, this is the intro. This is the intro. I was trying to think, during the day, there's not much energy. How are we going to get ourselves right for the rest of the day?
Beamer with the rack top down, sitting in the drive, but you wouldn't
You're a
get
strange
out.
guy.
Dogs were
I
all
like the first
barking and a
video.
wagon.
I thought, all right, here we go.
Oh, that had you hyped?
AssistAthleteServices, Mikhaela Cann. Who gives a damn what you think? I'm like, yeah, I got this, and then you flip it and put on some country music.
I can get around country music though.
Yeah, I got no issue with country music, but I was just, where's this going?
You don't have a big green tractor? A big red tractor, sorry? Oh, it's green. That's good.
We can go slow, make it go faster, down through the woods and out to the past.
I'm just leaving the chorus, just the chorus.
It really don't matter. Climb up in my lap and drive if you want to. Girl, you know you got me to hold on to. We can go to town, but baby, if you'd rather, I'll take you for a ride
On my big green tractor.
Damn, found
You like
country
that?
music.
You like that?
Yeah. Surprised I don't have the headphones on. You can hear yourself singing. Perfect.
How are you guys?
Good.
Well, hold on. Let me introduce. Welcome to the Searchers Podcast. Today we have the lovely Mikhaela Cann today. Give a round of applause, KB. Round of applause. And we also have Kirron Byrne.
And Atem Bior.
Yeah, how are you guys?
Pretty good, thanks. Yeah.
Are you? I'm so glad you came today because we finally get to have someone here that knows about basketball. We've been talking out about we've been talking out about bottoms about basketball for the past two
Making
episodes.
it up.
And we're gonna get to why you do what you do today.
Okay.
That's like my biggest thing about today. I want to know why and what got you to this point to do what you do.
Cool.
And it started with basketball. So what's your basketball story? What are your earliest memories as of 5? Let me guess. 5? You started at 5?
5?
Yeah.
No, I started at 13
Oh.
or 12, 13.
No
yeah.
way.
Yeah, I started pretty late. Yep.
What was that about? Oh,
I don't know. I just no one in my family's ever played basketball before. So in my I think I played a couple of games of basketball when I was like 6, but didn't go back and play again for a really long time. And just kind of played soccer. I played rugby union for a while there, which looking now, it's a really bad idea.
Oh, you can go back. I think you're right.
I was built differently back then. I was a lot stronger. Played a lot of athletics, a lot of swimming, running, all of the above, touch footy. And then my school teacher asked me to play for school basketball in year 7, I think. And I played, and then
Were you good right away?
I actually made the school state team like that year, but I couldn't play basketball. Like I wasn't very good at basketball. I was just like quick and fit and whatever. So I kind of went along to that comp and
what?
Relentless.
Relentless, yeah.
yeah. And went along and kind of just sat on the bench for most of that competition and learned a bunch, and then pretty much gave up most of my other sports and gave it a crack.
Okay, but then you just ascend and beat everyone into like what? How the hell does that even work?
I just train a lot.
And so you went to the AIS, right?
Yeah, I went to the AIS when I must have been 15, I think.
3 years after you started basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. Now that I think
I'm so
about it.
jealous because I tried that. I didn't make nothing. Med East. I made Med East
when I started basketball.
Officially at 14.
Yeah.
Grade
see,
9.
you were later.
Officially at 14. I was at the park doing my N1 stuff, but not like didn't know actual stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And then a few years later, you're already at the top at AIS. And
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
what made you train so much? And like what type of like kid? I want you to explain what type of kid does that. You know what I mean? Because we meet a lot of kids who want to be good at basketball, but they don't really improve that much.
I don't know. Honestly, I just loved it. Like I just spent every day playing outside 1-on-1 against my brother, getting my butt kicked, playing against other kids in the street for just like a really honestly till my parents would call me in at night, and then I guess I just spent a lot of time playing against boys for a really long time outside, just like you said, like at the park doing stuff, and then I just fell in love with the game, so I just trained every day, and yeah.
Were you looking up to anyone at the time?
Yeah, I had a really good school team. Like I had like Sarah Graham and those girls kind of part of the school team who had like kind of played WNBL or were about to play WNBL and were going through the ranks and stuff. But other than that, like I didn't really watch basketball. Like I didn't really watch the NBA, the like national leagues or anything like that until I kind of probably came home from the AIS, to be honest. And it became like I signed WNBL when I came back straight away. And it was only then that I really kind of started to, I don't know, watch like closely, I suppose, and follow teams and follow players. And
I'm hating so much
like
inside right now. I'm hating so much deep inside right now. I just like, do you like, that's pretty cool to be that good and have another life outside of it where you're not watching basketball all day. You're just hooping. Yeah,
I guess so. And I think that was kind of, for a really long time, it was just hooping. And then, towards the end of the AIS kind of, I think I was there for maybe like 2, nearly 3 years. And then by the end of that, it kind of started to become, more
like
than
a job.
Just a hobby. Yeah, well, probably the other way. Like it became more serious and more like, obviously it's becoming your job and you're trying to make a career out of it. So I think that was a point where I struggled with, am I just kind of hooping or am I doing this for real, and kind of juggled with that for a little while. But, ultimately I wanted to play. So that's what we did.
That's when it sucks, when it starts to become like a serious job type of thing.
Well, yeah, it's just like, I think it's very easy to lose sight of the love for the game when it becomes everything that you're doing in your life, So, I even took a few years off to deal with some personal stuff. And
I was going to ask you about that, 2014 till 2017. I do my research.
You did do your research, yeah, you did.
You had a 3-year hiatus.
I did.
What was that about?
I just had a lot of trauma and stuff happen in my family that, ultimately my mum needed a lot of support. So, in that time I kind of made the decision, do I move away from home and kind of deal with it that way, play basketball in a different state, or, stay put and look after her and stuff like that. So I went and got a few jobs instead and just kind of got my head right for a few years and, fell in love with the game again after that. I think it was after I had Addison, actually. She was born in 2017. And I wasn't real. I was actually got asked to go to a Brisbane Lions women's AFL thing, and I went to their I don't even know what it was, like a trial day, fitness testing stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, sweet, I'll go. Like, it's cool. I'm not really doing anything else right now. And then after I went to that, the Townsville Fire called and asked if I wanted to come play up there. So we kind of packed our stuff and went up.
That 3 years, obviously you had stuff outside of basketball that you were handling. I would have thought that 3 years might have been the reason you started what you do today. That was my thought,
big time. Yeah, I mean a big part of it. I think like in that time, I think that if I had a better skill set to be able to navigate what I was going through, I probably would have stayed more engaged in the sport and been able to kind of handle both. Everyone goes through stuff. you know, and it's all relevant to your own situation, right? So it doesn't matter how intense it is or how much big it is or how small it is, it's all relevant. So, you know, now that I look back, I think that I could have done things differently or handled things differently if I was educated on how to do so.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a major part of why I came up with Assist and really want to drive that home, you know, teaching these kids these skills from a younger age. So, you know, when they do go through stuff, because everyone goes through stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know, so when they do go through stuff, they have the skills to be able to, you know, navigate it or at least handle it in a way that it doesn't mean that they have to push aside an entire part of their life to deal with it, you know?
I don't think they know how lucky they are. like the first time I came to help at one of your camps, and just both of you are really good at speaking. I don't know, like you guys, I've told you this all the time. You guys are really good at speaking and like just getting people's emotions to move. I don't even know if it's just me, but yeah, I was just listening to you, you know, speaking about self-talk and how to manage all that. I was like, these kids are really lucky, like really lucky that you started this.
It's important stuff.
Why'd you get this guy on board?
For his brain.
I was going to say, I can't remember.
I can't remember either, to be honest. I think that, like, obviously my skill set or my understanding and education is based on personal experience, you know. I've seen a couple of, you know, psychologists along the way, but I was telling Kirron the other day that they were mostly forced upon me to go and do from certain situations, not because I went out and seeked it myself. I'm glad I did.
From your sports people or
no,
just life
in
stuff?
life, yeah. So, like the police, for example, in one situation, like they made me go and see somebody and stuff like that. So, you know, I kind of had my experiences with it, but a lot of it is just from my experiences and what I've learned along the way. So, I guess for me to really take Assist to another level and really educate these kids in a way that I'm probably not super capable of or qualified to do, I needed this guy and his brain and his experience. And I just think that somebody who, one, I know and I trust, that's a big thing for me is, you know, having somebody that I trust and I know has the same intentions as what I do. And then along with his experience with, you know, working with kids who are, you know, youth level kids all the way through to professional sports is in this exact space, along with obviously basketball knowledge and all of the above is,
all that,
is something that, to me it was a no-brainer and I'm, glad that he said yes. Obviously.
Are you helping people? How you?
I think that, you know, as we all agree, it's really important to, you know, provide that kind of service or advice or education around sport and the other side of it. So, yeah, definitely it's been really cool to be able to help, you know, a lot of different kids in a lot of different ways, hopefully, or provide that information. And then, you know, I guess it just takes time for them to apply it. But, yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it...
But it's not just kids. You guys are talking to parents.
We are. We have started talking to parents too.
And they like it. Like, they actually really love it.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
Absolutely. I mean, now that I've got kids, I get it. Like, I understand that, you know, 90% of parents are wanting to do what's best for their kids. But, you know, we're kind of I'm trying to get Addison, my oldest, into sport, like a team sport now, because I'm like, you know, team sport's really important and you learn all these blah, 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 blah. And, I'm like, well, what if it doesn't go well? Or what if, you know, what if she loves it? What if she doesn't love it? What if all of these things? And I guess kids go through sport and parents don't get educated on how they can help their kids to, you know, not succeed in so much, but grow and, you know, learn all the lessons that they ultimately have put their kids in sport to learn, you know?
Do you think you're ready to see? Because I could just imagine it's like the roller coaster of like watching your kid do well or not do well. Yeah. Or no, actually not even that. Watching them maybe if they don't enjoy it or do enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that's probably the hardest one is because I love sport so much. It's like... Well, I hope you love sport.
What if she comes to you crying one day? Like, how would that...
Or just disinterested, it's worse.
Yeah, disinterested. And that's probably her, to be honest. She loves sport but doesn't like, I don't even know how to put it, the team aspect. Like she doesn't want to go on, or the competitive aspect probably, not so much the team aspect, but isn't ready to like go and play a game of anything. She just like has me out in the driveway every day. Like, Mum, not leaving till I make 10 swishes. Like, she's insane. She got the ladder out. She got the whole lot. I had to buy her a soccer goal the other day for our house because she's decided she's into soccer. But then I'm like, hey, we'll sign you up for a team.
Do you want to play with people?
No, thanks. Like if there was a sport that was just training, she'd be phenomenal.
CrossFit.
Yeah.
CrossFit.
Pretty much.
Rock climbing or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Something different.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the point is that educating parents is, I think almost more important than educating the kids because that's the voice they hear the most and the voice that they trust the most. So the more that we can kind of teach the parents what we're teaching the kids, then the more, they're going to hear the language at home and the more it's going to set in and, hopefully the more that the kids benefit.
Have any of them come to you guys, but question for, have any of them come to you and asked something that you were like not unsure about, or you had to go research yourself, or you're like, I've never been asked this before?
Yeah, me all the time. And then I send them to Kirron. and then I call Kirron. I'm like, hey, Kirron, I've just got this parent that needs to talk to you. Cool if I link you guys up.
When you call Kirron, he's already in the mirror practicing his hands. He's in the mirror doing this.
Working on how to
get this message.
You like the hands? Like
I've been trying it just doesn't work with me. I think it's only you.
You have to practice. You got to practice. I think that like what parents underestimate is how common everything is. So like you're experiencing something and you feel like you're the only one.
Yeah.
But parents don't get together and talk, and no one really provides any educational support for parents. Mm-hmm. And so I think that if parents understood how common all their emotions are and where it comes from, then that would eliminate a lot of issues. Mm-hmm. Whereas when you deal with it yourself, you're so conflicted because you love your kid, you're trying to do what's best for them. That's all skewed or, I guess, coloured by your own perspective and your own experiences. Mm-hmm. And then not really knowing what is best for the kid, not being patient, it being a competitive environment. There might be another parent yelling or whatever, and then you're sort of competitive against that parent, and which is really related to the kids.
You guys got in a fight with the parent? I gotta know this. Come on, gotten in not a fight, but like a back and forth with a parent before? No, not yet.
No, not really. I mean, like, I think
really.
that...
Hold up.
What does that mean?
Not a fist fight. Like,
Can I say what we... No.
We edit, don't worry, we edit. Right?
No, definitely not. I mean, the parents that I work with directly are amazing, but, I think there's always a time where you have to be real and be honest. I think that's part of the job as well as, building a relationship that's, you respect each other enough that you're able to be honest about, either themselves or where their kid's at or whatever, because, it's what's best for their kid to keep moving forward, Don't
be honest with me about my kid. Just tell me lies. Don't tell me the truth. Nah.
It's the coach. It's the coach.
So I can blame you.
Your kid's actually great. Your kid is amazing. It's the coach that's not letting him shoot.
Yeah, why aren't you playing him? Why aren't you playing him 40 minutes a game or her 40 minutes a game?
It's always the coach. Don't worry about that.
Don't tell me the truth. Oh, God. I'm just living through you guys. I have just parent questions because
go.
I'm a little terrified.
Of being a parent?
And with sport.
Yeah, you'll be terrible.
Whoa.
Like, you'll be really bad as a parent.
Why would you? Whoa.
Just in general?
Because like, you're going to be a parent, your kid's going to be playing sport, you're going to have high expectations.
Yeah,
you're going to be like, want that kid to be successful and do all these things, and then not know how to encourage them or like in a positive way. So you're just going to turn to...
Well, that's why I have you guys. That's why I have AssistAthletes for.
Yelling or like that was it. Yeah. That was it. That's all you, like 2 points. That's all we train for is 2 points.
You could do better. You're not eating tonight.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of punching them.
You can walk home.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're going to walk anyway. I'm not thinking.
It's not an issue.
Because I've told you this before. I just remember when it was my brother criticizing my soccer game when we got in the car, and it was...
But see, you learned that. You know what I mean? Like he's trying to help you through criticism by being negative.
Yeah, he thought it was working for him. Like he thought it was the right way.
Yeah, exactly. And then you learn that, and that's how most people learn. Yeah. And then they do the same thing.
And then I'm gonna do the same thing.
You're gonna do the same thing.
Ramp it up just a little bit.
just a little. Just widen that window up.
Yeah. You're worth nothing.
You'll have some words that you can use. But again, it always comes from the right place. So people are trying to help their kids to, be as good as they could be.
Yeah.
But I think that like lack of understanding that sometimes it takes time. Kids aren't ready.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on for them in games. Maybe their perspective is that they actually did a really good job. It's just not a good enough job for the parents.
Just not good enough.
So they're like, I played really well. And you're sitting there going, you did not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I did this, and this. And I mean, we, one story is one of our kids is playing AFL, and we're telling them, you got to get in there and get the ball, and you got to be more aggressive, and you got to do this, you got to do that. And we're sitting there being quite critical of her performance.
Okay.
And, like
in a calm, soft way, as usual.
Like we're calm, but not. It was probably to a point where it was a little animated.
Little.
Okay. Anyway, but because she didn't do anything. Like, what are you doing? You did nothing. You're doing this anyway. So we're the next kid's playing as well. So we walked to the other side of the field so we can watch from the other side. And we're sitting on chairs, and she's sitting down on a she's probably 8 years old or something, 8, just not really good enough. sitting on a picnic rug. Anyway, might have been 9, I don't know. So pretty young. Yeah. Anyway, you see the coach walking, who's also the president of the club, walking from the other side of the field, comes all the way around. We're sitting there going, we're friends with him, comes over. And he goes, hey, just talks to our daughter. You did a great job today. You did this, and this, everything.
Was this after you guys just bashed her?
So she's told us, like, this is what he told me to do, so that's what I did, and well, that's not good enough.
Yeah, still.
He walks all the way around and he's like, hey, look, that was a great job. You did everything I asked for. We're trying to get spacing and all this, and if you stay there, then I'll teach the girls to, kick it out to you, and he went to tell us how good it was and all this stuff, and we're sitting there going, yeah, cool. He walks off, and we're like, see, you don't know anything about the sport.
Well,
you should listen to your coach. That's what we said.
Not listen to us anymore.
So you should probably not listen to us because we don't know what we're doing. You should listen to your coach.
Well, I was going to say, your primary rule is usually don't listen to the coach. Yeah. If anyone's listened to this podcast, the primary rule again is don't listen to coaches. Screw them.
I mean, I still maintain that I was right. But it was a really interesting moment because not that what the coach had asked the girls to spread out, create space, because at that age they all just on the ball.
Yeah, they all just, yeah.
And my daughter's heard that and gone, okay, I can do that. So she's done exactly what he's asked and consistently did that and was in the right positions, but never touched the ball because the kids don't understand.
So you guys are thinking,
well, why are you standing out? Like, why aren't you just going in there and getting it?
Yeah.
And again, it's I still think that you should go get the ball, at different times and be aggressive on the ball and do those things, but. Again, she had listened to the coach, done the right thing, thought that she had a great game. The coach thought she had a great game. It just wasn't what we, expected of her and her ability. Our perception of her ability. So
just a little more animated.
It wasn't. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Just a little bit. Probably just that parental disappointment. Just disappointed in you, but I still love you.
Have you ever had a crazy coach who's you don't say their name or anything, or someone get really animated at you, and were you cool with that? Was that nothing to you?
There's actually one. I was at a QAS camp once, and there was a coach there, and I was 13. I don't know. I was really young, and all the other kids were at least 2 or 3 years.
Is she talking? Is it?
Yeah.
There was a coach at QAS camp once, and I was really young compared to everyone else there.
What was his name? Do you have initials?
I think you know him pretty well, actually. And he, I did something. I'm not sure what it was, but I did something, and he came up to me and yelled in my face, like I'm talking this far away from me, and I just looked at him, and I'm like, you know when you like start to cry, but then you're trying really, really hard to hold it in. You're like, yeah. So that was probably the closest. And then like I've had crazy coaches. Don't get me wrong. I think everyone's crazy in their own way, but you know.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you know, in their own way. But I think that one especially is like stuck with me forever. And I like got really upset after training, just like by myself. I think it was like an overnight camp, so I was kind of just like on my own. And then I got over it and I was like, well, nothing can be as bad as that.
Yeah. I've seen
now since then I've just been like, oh, you raised your voice.
Whoa.
But you didn't scream in my face, so
So it's nothing.
it's not that bad.
It's only one level above.
Do you scream at players? How intense are you?
Players that I coach?
No, as a player.
As a player?
Because you're the leader of
She coaches as
team.
well.
Yeah, I'm assuming.
I do not.
So
When
the way you play, you're like a
when
coach.
You play,
Well,
when
yes,
you play
I suppose.
coach, do you scream at your players? Do you get in their face and...
No, I'm not a yeller or a screamer. I'm just a accountability holder.
Accountability.
Yeah.
You guys are really good, yo. I ain't gonna
And
lie.
that's
You
what
guys,
I would say that's what I am. I don't often often pull us out of a drill at training and talk about how terrible it was and you know, use some words and stuff like that. But I'm not a yell at anyone. Like I would never
Single
go
them
up to
out.
a player and yell at them. I will always go to them with a solution. And
Just not going to yell in someone's face.
never done that. I don't think.
No.
I can't.
I'm not a yeller, but I will, you know, not hesitate to hold people accountable to what we say we're going to do.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, I always see, huddles and stuff. You're bringing everyone in and blah, blah, blah. Was it last 2 years ago when I was at Logan with Kirron as well? Mm-hmm. And first time we watched you play, I came to Kirron and was like, yo, that's the best point guard in the league. Like, how is she doing this? You remember I told you.
And I didn't even... You said that.
I said this.
Yeah. Did you even know Mikhaela then?
I didn't really know Mikhaela back then, but
It's obvious.
it's very obvious. I don't know. It was just beautiful to watch. Like I love watching pass, like people that can pass and like control the game. Because I always dreamed that I could do that. They just say get down in the paint and and elbow some people and do some of that jump hooks and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I like appreciate watching that because I like dream of that. But like you do it so seamlessly. But
Thanks.
And then I talked shit like, how the hell is she not considered the best player in the freaking league? And Kirron gave me his reasons and stuff like that. Can you give me your reasons? Why don't they giving you the
Why are you
respect?
not considered the best player in the league?
Yeah.
I don't, because people get higher stats than I do. Isn't that how they do it?
Do you agree? Do you think
How do they do it?
They
Tim?
do.
nepotism
Yep.
and maybe what will push the brand more?
Yeah, true.
Personal bias,
Yeah. I think
perception, like bias and
that's,
perception.
even when it's clear.
Yeah, people don't give credit to people. Like for example, there might be, you're surrounded by all these good players, or you got a great coach, or you don't have a great coach, or you guys just stacked, or you guys spend all this money. There's always an explanation as to not give players, usually specific players, a lot of credit, whereas other people get a lot of credit, and sometimes it seems unjustified.
Sometimes it seems, yeah. Do you carry any like that on your shoulder, like
Resentment.
no resentment? Oh, whoa, shit.
Do you have any resentment? You seem really chill.
Towards
But,
the league.
are you resenting anybody in particular? I like how you're just tiptoeing around it. I'm just like...
Straight to the point, why don't you?
Only because we've had those conversations. I love when people deny me. I love when people, don't believe in me. I'm going to kill them.
That's funny. I do love. Yeah, we are like that. So I'm wondering if you're like that too.
Do you have that drive? Or, like, do you sometimes just want to, show people that they're wrong?
Yeah, I guess a little bit, but it's not really what motivates me the most. Like, I
Motivates
couldn't
you
care
the
what
most?
people think, if they think I'm the best player in the league or not. I just want to win.
Play the video
I just
game.
want to win really
Play it
bad.
again. We have it live. What does motivate you?
Good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. I think that like winning's the first one. I think that like me getting recognised as a good player is far less important to me than like going and winning a championship. I think that I know that if I'm at my best, then my team's in a good position to contend. So I do everything in my power to do it. It is.
I mean,
it?
she's been a professional for a long time, bro. So I don't know.
You're asking me if I care that I don't get recognised. I could not care less.
This is not going to sell any views. It's not
Sorry, I actually hate everyone.
Yes, please.
I hate them all.
I'm actually full of anger.
No, I do get up for games where I'm playing against people who are, recognised more as better players. That definitely motivates me.
Like who? I wouldn't. Who? Like who?
The better players in the league.
The other good point guards in the league. Like I get up for, them. Yeah, Steph. I love playing against Steph.
Sure.
Who else? Who else is there? I don't know. There were some good point guards in the league this year.
Anyone cook you?
I think people sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do.
Do you just hit them, knock them to the ground?
Yeah, look.
Pretty much, just like they
with these.
knock them to the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. No, I do. I definitely do get motivated to play better. Obviously, when better people play. Just because, but I think that this is also super lame, but my kids are like a massive one. So
I mean, you have the
like my own kids motivate me because I want them to see
you at your best.
Well, maybe not so much my best because then I don't want them to feel like they have to be really good at stuff either. That's what I'm going through with Addison at the moment. Like, she walks into Logan basketball and my face is like on every wall and then I feel like she thinks that she has to be really good at basketball, but I just want them to see more so probably that like you can still be yourself and, be good at something. Hey?
Get her into AFL.
You know what's funny?
No one knows you in AFL.
Well, that's funny because we're trying to get a pool in my house and this guy came over the other day and he's like, what sport do you play? AFL? I was like...
I wish.
I don't think... No, I do not play AFL. He's like, you look like an AFL player.
You should play AFL. Addison would be great at AFL.
I mean, why are you guys both trying to run away from basketball?
I'm not trying to run away.
What's going on?
I'm not trying to run away from basketball.
I'm just trying to...
I'm here for it.
I think that...
Why you want to get people away from basketball, man?
I think that's really difficult. I think that
more than AFL?
Like, let's say, for example, I mean, how many kids with highly successful basketball parents love the game, just take it on board and go, this is my game. I love it as much as my parents. You know what I mean? Don't burn out. Don't get disenchanted. Don't have all this like external pressure. Yeah. And just able to do it. Like I would say that the number that make it is far outweighed by those that, quit or don't love the game because there's so much expectation before they start.
So you've seen different in AFL? In the little that you've seen so far?
No, what I'm saying is if you got no connection with AFL,
okay,
then there's no expectation. Go make your own life now, or do both or whatever.
If you come back to basketball later on, then that's great. But you kind of found it yourself.
And rather than like you're always around it, you see your mum's face everywhere, all this stuff.
Dad's yelling at you at St. James.
Your dad. Well, in that case, dad's like in basketball as well, and you're around it all the time, and so it's like I think that. If a child sees that as difficult or pressure, then that would be, just take him out, put another sport or do both, train at basketball, play another sport. Yeah. And then when you decide to be good at basketball, you got the skills, you got all that, and you just...
Yeah, the plan is definitely to chuck her in every other sport.
Seamlessly into it. Because you don't have to start till you're 13.
What if they come and say, we don't want sport at all?
I don't know how I would react to that. mainly because of the stuff that you learn from sport. I think that like this world is nuts. It's a crazy world. There's so much stuff out there, and I think that sport is just something that I don't know, just puts you around good people, motivated people, and teaches you like phenomenal life lessons. Really, so I think that while I still have a choice, she'll be playing sport of some description. I don't care what level it's at. I don't care if she's any good at it or CrossFit. What she's interested in.
I mean, CrossFit. Lots of training.
But they'll be playing sport.
That is a nightmare to force your kid into CrossFit. That's abuse.
that
that should be
gymnastics.
abuse.
I'm like, yeah.
Gymnastics might be it.
Gymnastics, same thing. Gymnastics
Yeah.
is better because you go, if you're a professional gymnast, you can do CrossFit.
Yeah, true.
That works.
If you just do CrossFit, you're like stuck for life.
Your back's done. If you just do CrossFit, you're basically done.
At 6 years old.
Exactly. Lots of injuries. Yeah, so I think exercise is important, and that's why I was talking about the passion and the love. Like if you burn out and you've only ever done one sport and you burn out from that sport and you don't love sport anymore, then it's difficult to become like a somebody who enjoys physical activity lifelong.
Yeah.
And in the end, all the research says that leads to a lot of health issues, mental health, physical health.
When you don't, yeah.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't have to be team sport. It could be rock climbing. It could be diving. It could be you could enjoy scuba diving. Like
Being active.
get outside, do something.
Notice that.
When we say sport, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't necessarily. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a team sport. I just like team sports when they're young because it teaches them a bunch of stuff that's going to help them as they grow.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn how to translate some of those lessons into other things, like the team stuff. It should be so easy, but like I still struggle to get in teams and work with people in like settings outside of basketball.
Outside of sport.
Even in basketball, it was a bit of a struggle, but yeah, I'm like there's a few things from sport that I just haven't carried over just yet. And,
that might be personality though. That like you may have come along a lot further by playing team sports than you would have if you had it just
If
done.
you had enough,
yeah.
I mean, maybe you wouldn't talk to anyone at all.
Man, I've tried to like ask myself like, should I just accept this? Maybe I don't like
Just
talking
accept
to
it.
a lot of people.
Just keep your circle small.
yeah, small
and
circles.
Yeah.
For the win. Yep.
get into rock
Well,
climbing.
I'll see other people. I was in class today and like these kids on the other table and they're just having such a great time. But I'm like, I would fucking hate to sit with you guys right now because what are you talking about? Like
Small talk.
what are you laughing about? I think I was jealous they were happy laughing and like,
Suckers.
oh, what are you talking, friends? Like, what is that?
Damn,
Yeah, well, I get to experience that now with you guys.
that's it.
Yeah,
You should do rock climbing, skateboarding.
Not doing rock climbing, skateboard. I've tried skateboarding.
We
skateboarding?
should go rock climbing. We should go. I want to see you climb up to the top.
You've done that
Climb-
like properly, so
Like,
you're gonna be
climb to the
laughing
top
at me.
and just see what happens.
Nah, hell no.
Just see what happens at the top.
Heck no. Oh,
It's just you and the rock, you and the wall.
depends who's gonna be there.
You don't have to. I'll be there. Just me and you. We'll just climb up.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, you want a crowd?
Yeah.
Now you want a crowd.
yeah.
I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to support.
Yeah,
I just want everyone to watch me.
I wanna be the
That's all I
star.
want.
I just want everyone to watch me.
Isn't that why we play basketball? So we can. Isn't that why you guys chose to be point guards so
That
people
just-
see you with the
that
ball?
just got complex.
Mostly.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, right. I mean, have you ever thought of that? Just a tangent. I've thought of that. Like, being a point guard is cool because everyone has their eyes on you the whole time.
If you like that attention.
Yeah, I was going to say, you
Like,
kind of
you
have to
guys
like
don't
the pressure, right?
Basketball pressure. You like basketball pressure.
Yeah, of course. But not everyone does,
Nah.
which is why not everyone's a point guard, I guess.
I never understand. Point guard or not, do you understand that when people are like scared to just be in the moment, enjoy the moment? Like if you have teammates who are like scared last 2 minutes or so and
Yeah, all the time.
what do? You don't yell at them. You don't.
Just doesn't pass to them.
Just don't pass to them, man.
So go to the corner. Go to the
I
corner.
know you don't want the ball, so
The best you just go to the corner.
no.
You're really good at defense.
No.
Just,
The trick is to build them up all season, so when it comes, they're ready for it.
What do you see for AssistAthleteServices in 7 years?
how many years?
7.
7 years.
Specific amount of years.
It's a lot of years.
I mean, I hope that we plan to be kind of reaching kids, hopefully all around Queensland, if not Australia, at that point, through the app and some of the programs that Kirron's developed for us.
What's the app gonna show?
A lot of well-being stuff.
A lot of well-being stuff. A lot of,
Education.
I guess what sets us apart really is the fact that it's educational, So the app, instead of just being a wellness app and, tracking, how you're feeling each day and stuff, what we're doing is we're We're teaching them how to set goals. We're teaching them how to, self-reflect in order to become more self-aware. They're, teaching their brain to think in certain ways that is going to help them be productive under pressure.
There's resources in there.
Resources. So, instead of just kind of being like, oh, here's a bunch of 1 hour videos that you can go and watch on wellness. We've got, you rated yourself low in self-talk all week. So here's some self-talk activities that you can go into and you can work on straight away. Whether you're an individual athlete, whether you're a coach supplying that for your athletes that you coach or schools, whatever it is, it's all translatable. So it's, teaching them to take action, I suppose, rather than just writing things down with no real anything else afterwards. I filled out those apps for 10 years and I learned nothing about myself. Not a thing. Like all I learned was that, okay, well, wellness is important, which it is, but I never learned, well, what can I do about it, and how am I going to action this so that I can actually get better each day, and knowing that I have stuff to tap into that's been created by people who have been there through sport, worked with people of all levels, to go and work on myself.
But I think the biggest thing is that because the focus is actually doing something, then Mikhaela and her coaches and everyone who's involved really learns this stuff and tries to integrate it into the sessions. And then there's the feedback, and then you with the parents as well, trying to educate the parents so that the kids who are part of the program, I guess, are getting these messages not just from the app but from the coaches, hopefully through their parents, hopefully through the other seminars, and so they're hearing it in all different ways and therefore are more likely to apply it rather than just having an app or having a diary, which is quite common now. But it's like, how do you apply that? How do you make it relevant? How do you actually integrate it into what you do, which allows you to then, I guess, really learn whatever it is you need to work on, and then apply it. And I think that's the biggest difference I've noticed, is that Mikhaela is really passionate about the application of this knowledge as opposed to just providing it. And that's why I think it'll be exciting within 7 years or, hopefully sooner, just seeing athletes, parents, and the greater community understanding how you can actually apply, these techniques and to be, to increase your well-being. And
Can we get practical one time and put you guys on the spot? Because you're talking about action.
Yeah.
And I'm a parent with a... yo?
I was trying to think which child you're talking about. I was like, all right. Which kid is he actually talking about? And I had to imagine which one
I have a 17-year-old.
Yeah.
This is a hypothetical, by the way.
You do you, man. That's cool.
If I had a 17-year-old, he'd be... Yeah, yes, by now.
Well, you're 36, so it makes sense.
I have a 17-year-old who's aware of some mental issues that they have. They know what they need to do, and they kind of know why they don't do it in those game situations. Just in and then they judge themselves for not doing it. But they know what they need to do. They know why they speak so poorly of themselves in those moments.
Yeah.
What's something practical that they can do to start changing that, if it's possible even?
I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, I guess I'll go first. I think that what I usually do is I just go and figure out like what the underlying issue is, where it's come from, I suppose, and then figure out what kind of little skills they can work on. So, for example, like sense of self, they work on their self-talk and provide them with things that they can do that with by, doing little activities, setting them little tasks, little goals through what we do around becoming more self-aware about, when they're using that, the way that they talk to themselves and then impacting their confidence. Or
what's one activity?
Hey?
What's one activity?
Oh, I mean, we do a million self-talk activities, but it's simply just writing down, like, when you notice that you spoke negative to yourself in training today, like, someone didn't pass me the ball and the first thing I said to myself was, something real negative, writing it down and then switching it to something that could be positive or productive. Yeah, to help you. So you're building your self-awareness, because you're becoming more aware around the situations that are kind of triggering that sort of negative talk, or those negative feelings about yourself or the people around you, and then just practicing changing it and doing it over and over and over again to a point where that negativity or the negative self-talk might not stop, but it impacts you for less amount of time each time, to a point where it's not impacting the next play, it's not impacting the next quarter, whatever, depending on what sport you play. So that's just an example of a self-talk activity that we do a lot, actually. Yeah.
You have one practical advice? One practical activity?
For this child, for your 17-year-old?
For this hypothetical child.
For this hypothetical 17-year-old who has what? So, I mean, that's where it starts, I think. I think if you're going to wind it back just one more step is do something that's just yourself. So, take 10 shots and then be aware of your self-talk, and then have something to replace it. So when that automatic self-talk comes through, you deliberately replace it with something positive.
Did you shave your legs today, bro? Real quick.
No, why?
They do look fresh.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just saying, it was shiny as hell today, bro.
Man, I thought I was going to be in the front.
Did you know you were going to be in the middle?
You know it.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'm glad you noticed. That was probably the coolest part of the podcast. Thank you.
Hey, man, I noticed that.
You noticed the details.
Yeah, I noticed.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
I just think that's important, is that you've got to actually start doing something. And by actually doing something, then you have the opportunity to challenge other things. So something simple like that, where you're shooting and 10 shots, can I be positive on 10 free throws?
Yeah.
And identify what the negative self-talk might be and how you feel. And, and then it comes down to concentration. So, can you control your brain and concentrate on what, thoughts you have most often or whatever it is. So start being deliberate about your practice and how you use your mind as a tool rather than let your mind use you. So, I guess concentration, self-talk, and then, the other thing you can probably do is visualize it. So imagine it.
That's the hardest part. Yeah, I used to look at you like a nutcase telling me that stuff. Yeah. Yo, just imagine the ball go in right before you shoot it. I'm like, then that's not what I imagined.
It works.
And you want to know why it didn't go down?
Yeah.
I just can't imagine anything. Well, it's going to be hard for you to make it. We'll just pretend that's okay.
It's really hard, man. Because now I'm giving that advice, and I'm saying it like it's easy when I remember how hard it was.
It's a skill. It's really hard. And so the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. But you've got to deliberately practice. And again, all you're doing whenever you practice any of those things, concentration, visualization, self-talk, anything, goal setting, is being deliberate. I think that being deliberate and intentional in today's world is becoming rarer and rarer, because everyone just distracts themselves whenever they kind of floating around or something difficult comes up, they distract themselves. Yeah. So if you can deliberately, attack something, try and learn something, and then face all the emotions around failing, and then learn how to overcome that, deal with that, process that, and then go again. And that becomes your habit. So you're learning new things all the time. You're constantly moving forward. If you're constantly moving forward, then you're getting close to your goals. When you lose that concentration, when you're like, I can't do that, it's really hard, go distract yourself with something else, I'm just not going to worry about it, then your brain is learning that it doesn't have to, and you're not going to make it, address things that are difficult. And to achieve anything is difficult. So I think that
it is.
There's something practical, it's probably that, like being good at anything is really, really hard, and it's a deliberate decision you make.
Can I end on this? What are you guys going to challenge yourselves to learn in the next? What do you want to learn next that's going to be as challenging as maybe basketball was, or that's going to give you the same?
What are we doing ourselves?
Yeah, what are you planning to? Yeah, what are you guys doing yourself? Giving out all this.
What are you? What are we doing?
What are we going to join, Kirron?
Yeah,
what's it going to be?
Cycling club.
I'm getting into soccer because my kid wants to play soccer.
Great
I mean, I played soccer when I was little, but relearning it and so I can help her, being outside, teaching her how to kick the ball and stuff. So, yeah, getting back involved.
And you're going to dive full in and really try to...
I mean, I'm not going to coach her or anything.
But you're going to try to get good yourself. But you want to get good yourself as well?
Yeah. I'll be good at it.
Better, not just good, better.
I'll be better than what, her?
Then no, what you were or what you are now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because the more that I understand, the more that I know, then the more that I can, be out there and do it with her, I suppose.
Cool. What do you... You should challenge each other to do something new. I like that. I like that. You've done soccer before. You should both challenge each other to do something new, to like learn something new.
Like brand new.
So that you could show that, hey, this is how you do it. This is how you go about it. You know what I mean?
Do embroidery.
What is that?
Like
sewing.
Oh.
You should do cleaning your room. You should do cleaning your house. It's cleaning your house. Like let's
Have you been to my house? Yeah.
Let's practice. Like
what did you see?
For a whole year, you're gonna clean for a year.
It's not about me, man. Stop trying to turn this around, man.
I'm gonna get good on going on holidays.
Yeah, having a break. You're gonna get good at relaxing.
I'm terrible at that.
Letting go.
I'm terrible at that.
I mean, it's a really good idea, but again, it's hard. It's challenging. Like, where do you start? What do you do? Like, I think, and we do have to wrap it up, but, so I am doing some things that I've done previously, and it's all new, but it's like trying to program some weightlifting, like bodybuilding, not bodybuilding, but weightlifting, some sprint.
Is that because I told you look like you let go of yourself?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't really mean that.
It affected me deeply.
I didn't really mean to hurt your feelings, but I'm glad it motivated you.
It's more for my kids. I want to force them into being athletic.
He's not joking.
But it's
See
also
Malachi sprinting every day. Like, dog, have you rested?
Yeah, I'm doing some programming for myself.
I do programming for me. But no, like same as you. Like, you do it yourself so you can learn from it. So like I started running and stuff, and started doing some exercise, and your body's not really happy with that. And so trying to work out how to rest, recover, rehab, whilst you're doing it. So I'm trying to do that. What else?
So hold on. 1 second. I'm sorry. Hold on.
I'm not fucking trying. I'm either doing it or I'm not doing it. I spent a lot of years thinking in my head, using this word, I'm trying to get that done. And what that really meant for me was, I'm not actually doing anything to get that done. Like the trying.
You're not doing anything.
That's like my mental scapegoat to pretend that I'm taking steps towards accomplishing something I know I'm not.
Yep.
But people will go, hey, Eb, how's that going? Oh, I'm trying to do it. It's like, no, you're not, bro. You're not trying.
So I think that's actually a really, really good point. You hear that all the time.
Yeah.
I think,
and I'm not coming at you with that.
But I think that if you look at what people have achieved, what they do, what they've done, then you can tell the difference in somebody who tries and somebody who's trying out different ways to reach their goal. So if someone's trying different ways to find their goal, you can just look at their history and go, oh, they keep hitting all these goals.
Yeah.
Because they're figuring out ways to do it.
Yeah.
They're trying out ways to do it.
Yeah.
Somebody who's trying to do something but never achieve the goals, they always have an explanation as to why.
Yeah.
Like, I think that I understand what that person's saying.
Yeah.
But trying 1,000 ways to find one, is part of the process.
Yeah. It's not an excuse. You're actually
I'm
doing
every day. I'm doing something new to figure out, try to see what works.